All right, so we'll sit cross-legged. And we let our hands rest lightly on our legs. Elbows right next to your sides and below your shoulders. And then lift the top of your head up toward the ceiling so we get a lot of space in our spine. And then please relax your shoulders down away from your ears. So shoulders are heavy. Nice heavy shoulders. Relaxing. And then take a few minutes here to scan your body. Noticing how you feel as you sit here. You may notice places that are already fighting you or resisting you sitting this way. Just notice, observe. Try not to respond just yet. Feel any dis-ease, any resistance, any sore muscles. Maybe you do a lot of other activities here at the park. You've got some sore muscles or something somewhere. So just notice that. Notice your whole body from the toes to the top of your head, checking in, feeling what's going on. Noticing the muscles and the bones. And then remember to check your internal organs as well. So we notice if we're full, maybe we had breakfast, or maybe you're digesting, or if you ate breakfast, you would be digesting your food, or maybe you're hungry, or maybe you're just perfect, you're satiated. So just notice that. And then take some time to notice your energy level as well. I think since we've just had the new year and all of the holidays, and for me, eating things I wouldn't normally eat, so I'm finding that I'm a bit sluggish. And I think winter in general does that to us sometimes. So we notice that. Notice what's going on with you today, right now in this moment. And please direct your attention to your breath. And begin to observe the breath and how it moves through your body. Notice the sensations you feel as you breathe. So you may notice your breath maybe be moving smooth, or maybe it feels a bit rough. You might notice if your breath is deep or shallow, fast or slow. So we notice the quality, texture, and rhythm of our own breath. Just observe for a couple of breaths. Bringing our mind fully present into your body, into this room, being right here, right now. And then let's go ahead and begin to mold our breath into an equal ratio breathing pattern. So we'll breathe in and out to the same amount of time. And you can either feel your way through that or maybe count silently to yourself. If you're counting, I like the number 4 as you inhale, and then the same number 4 on your exhale. Take your time. And we invite the breath in through the nostrils if you can. If you are congested today, you can always breathe through the mouth. Feel the breath brush against the back of your throat. Notice how your rib cage expands in all directions and your belly expands. We let the belly soften and expand out as we breathe in. And as you release the breath, your navel draws in slightly and gently. Your ribs narrow. Shoulders soften, and all that stale air leaves your body. Just balancing our inhales and exhales, breathing in and out to the same amount of time. Breathing in, breathing out. Just a little deeper, a little more breath than normal. Carving out space, making more room in our lungs. Giving us more space in our chest, more space to breathe. Just a couple more. Try to do 3 more breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. And drop the technique. Moving back to the natural rhythm of your own breath. And as you breathe normally again, notice the quality, texture, and rhythm, and feel if anything's changed. If you're new to this practice, you might not notice anything at all. But you also might begin to notice your breath feels and moves a little smoother, a little slower. There's a little more space between your breaths. Just observe and notice. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and float our eyes open. Good. And then let's go ahead and stand. So take your time coming up. You can move your blankets and props off your mat for now. And then come to the front of your mat. And we come into our mountain pose, Tadasana. So we make sure that the feet are right below, or hip distance apart. Good, so ankles under knees, knees under hips. And when we say hips, we mean the hip points, the iliac crests. So we make sure our feet are just about hip distance apart. That generally means maybe 4 inches. And then arms next to your sides, shoulders relax. And we're going to combine our breath with our movement. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale just the arms up over our head. Exhale, bless you, release the arms down, nice and slow. And let's continue that, breathing in, nice and slow as you inhale, lift the arms, exhale, lower. Inhale, rising up. Notice if your rib cage presses out when you breathe in, and lift your arms, try to keep the ribs drawing in. So we don't arch the low back unnecessarily. So nice long spine, keeping it in a neutral position. If this bothers your shoulders, don't take your arms all the way up. Just go to that point where it starts to feel uncomfortable, and then you can stop there and then come back down. Feel as if your hands are moving through water. You can feel the water moving between the fingers. This gives us a chance to warm up our shoulders and to combine our breathing with our movement. Yoga is where we combine, or we bring together or yoke 3 things. Our breath with our movement with our mind. We stay focused, we stay aware, and we breathe as we move. So typically inhaling to lift from the floor. Exhaling to lower to the floor, or to fold forward or fold in. That's not always the case, but generally. So if you keep that in mind, that will help you through your practice. So let's do 4 more of these. In the next 4, I would like you simply to lift your heels as you lift your arms. So we're just lifting the heels off the floor. Arms reach up, belly draws in. Exhale, come right back down. Again, rising up. Exhale, release. Not easy for me either. Rising up. Nice strong legs. This is the last one. We're going to hold this one. So as you inhale up, lift your heels, come up onto your toes, hold your belly in. But keep breathing. And then release. Nice work, everybody. So you should feel a little warmth in your shoulders now, getting a little warmed up. So we're going to move into some forward folding movements now. So it's going to look like this, thinking I should face the camera, so we don't have the backside shot. So it's going to look like this. We'll inhale the arms up. As you exhale, bend into your knees, but I want you to take your seat behind you so that your knees stay over your ankles. And then we come right down. Let your chest and your rib cage come onto your thighs, and then sweep your arms back behind you. As you inhale, sweep the arms down, and when the arms get next to your ears, that's when you come right back up. And then we'll release the arms to our side. And then we'll do that again. So when you're ready, breathe in, lift the arms, exhale, fold. On your inhale, we sweep the arms forward, catch the ears, and come all the way up, and release. And again. Ponytail action. So again, combining our breath with our movement. Last one. This time we're going to stay in that forward fold. So we inhale, reach up, exhale, fold forward. Stay right here. And then go ahead and take the arms down and hold on to your elbows. And then as you hold your elbows or your biceps, you go ahead and drop the forearms toward the floor. Let the top of your head drop toward the floor. And tip your chin slightly in toward the chest. And then sway side to side. Just like a pendulum in a big grandfather clock. Swinging slowly back and forth. Gentle movement as you unravel your spine. Release the hips and shoulders so the arms are dropping toward the floor. Crown of the head is towards the floor. And then back to center. Once you're in the middle, release your elbows, circle your arms behind you, and see if you can weave your fingers together. So bend your elbows, let your hands rest right at the back of your waist. Good, elbows are bending. So from here, squeeze the elbows toward each other across your back. So now we get the shoulders in place, and we can safely begin to straighten the arms toward the ceiling if you'd like to, if that's a safe thing and a comfortable thing for your shoulders. If that causes pain in your shoulders, then don't do that. Take a few breaths here, opening the chest and the shoulders. Crown of your head's dropping toward the floor, chin is tipping in. Press through the big toe and the inner heel. Maybe start to lift your tailbone toward the ceiling, lengthening into your legs. If that causes your back to round, then keep your knees bending. Beautiful. Release the hands down to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, then bring your hands to your shins. And then as we inhale, we're going to move away from our legs. So if your hands are on your shins, straighten your arms, nice long spine. Chin tips in toward the chest. When you exhale, take your hands to your calf muscles and draw yourself a little closer to your legs. If you can touch the floor, we'll take the hands on the floor, fingertips only. Inhale, pull the floor towards you, long spine. As you exhale, push the floor away and fold closer to your legs. We all do that 2 more times. Breathing in. Exhale. Bringing a little more space into our legs and our hips and our low back. And then everybody please take your hands to your waist. Bend your knees. And slowly roll your way up. Nice and slow. Take your time. You're upside down a long time. I don't want you to get dizzy. Okay? All right. So we're going to move a little bit today. Not too much, but warming up a little bit. I'll take this off so my hoodie doesn't keep getting in my way. Remember, I have that there, so I'll throw it away. All right, so the next sequence is going to look like this. We're going to inhale the arms up. You can watch first if you'd like. Exhale, fold forward, and then take your hands on the floor next to your feet and step back. Nice big giant step. Second foot's going to follow the first, and we find downward facing dog. We're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. And I think we'll stretch into it while we're here. So let's go ahead and do that first. So from Tadasana, your mountain pose, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands come on the floor next to your feet. Big giant step back, downward facing dog. Notice the backs of your legs here. Take a moment to feel your body. Feet should be hip distance. Toes facing forward. Hands are flat. Fingers spread wide. Hips lifting toward the ceiling and pressing towards the back wall. Lift your hips high. Beautiful. Bend through your legs now, one at a time. Let your right knee bend as the left heel sinks toward the floor. Notice how that feels before you move to the second side. And then switch. Left knee bends, right heel sinks toward the floor. If you get tired here, you can bring your knees down, take a break, and then come back. And then pedal it out side to side. And then let both heels press back and down. Find the full expression of your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Triceps hug towards your ears. Belly draws up and in, and heels are pressing back and down. Beautiful. Everybody looks great. From here, can you walk your hands back to your feet? See if I can do this without running into the wall. So we find our forward bend. Press your feet firmly into the floor and come all the way up to stand. Reach for the ceiling. Hands come overhead. And exhale your hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold into your forward bend. And so now, can you walk your hands back to the top of the mat and find downward facing dog? When you're ready to exhale, release your knees to the floor and find tabletop. Inhale, look forward for cow. As you exhale, draw your belly up and into your spine. Take your seat to your heels for child's pose. Inhale, come right back up to tabletop and look forward for cow. When you're ready, curl your toes, lift your knees, and find downward facing dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Press your feet into the floor and come all the way up. Exhale your hands back to your heart. So that's the sequence we're going to do today. I'm just going to use this for my knees. It wasn't very comfortable on the hard floor. Here we go. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold into your forward bend. Walk your hands out toward the top of your mat. Find down dog. Let your knees come to the floor as you exhale. Tabletop, look forward. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, rising up, looking forward. And then exhale, lift your knees. Downward facing dog. And walk your hands back to your feet. Press your feet into the floor, come all the way up. And exhale your hands to your heart. I really like this sequence because it makes me feel strong in my upper body, walking the arms forward and back. So let's go ahead and continue. Breathe in. I'm just going to move down here so that you could focus on anything. So we lie down dog, and then when you're ready, release the knees to the floor, find tabletop, and look forward for cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, coming right back up, look forward. And then curl the toes under, lift the knees, down up. And walk your hands back to your feet. Press the feet, bend your knees if you have to, and then come all the way up. Hands overhead. walk your hands back to your feet. Remember to root the feet into the floor nice and strong, and then inhale to rise up, hands meet overhead, exhale, hands to your heart. Continue to breathe in. Exhale, hold. If your mind is getting bored with this sequence, wonder, you get a question. Why is your mind getting bored? It should be focused on your movements in your body. Beautiful. If you get lost, just look to a neighbor. Most people know what to do. Or look at the front row. They always know what to do. So each time we come back to a pose, we notice our body feels different. Things have changed. You have more space than you used to have. Your muscles are a little more flexible. You feel stronger. Be here, be now. And like I said, if you start to get bored with this sequence, ask yourself why. Walk back to the feet, super strong arms and upper body. Bend the knees when you need to, and inhale. Exhale, let's try just one more, please. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Walk the hands forward. Release the knees down. Down dog. Let's hold this down dog. Take time to find your alignment here. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Hug the triceps in towards the ears. So that means actually rotating the elbows so the elbow creases are working to face the top of the mat or the front of the room. You won't get there, but it's the action. Navel draws into the spine, nice and strong. Hips are pressing up and back toward the wall behind you. And your heels should be off the floor, but reaching toward the floor. Toes are wide. Go ahead and let your knees come to the floor. And find child's pose. And this time, let your elbows bend. Let your forehead come to the floor. Hips on the heels. If your forehead doesn't come to the floor, you can stack your forearms and let your head rest on your arms, or stack your fists. Make fists and let the hands stack and let your forehead rest there. And that's nice. It releases the back of your neck as well, keeping the natural curve. Good. When you're ready, let's come back up to tabletop. So once we're in tabletop, we're going to take the right arm. We're going to do moving into a twist here. So when you're ready, I'm going to watch first. We're going to lift the right arm up off the floor. And then as we exhale, we're going to reach that arm and thread it under the left. And so you let the side of your head come to the floor. And maybe the shoulder, but it might be not. My shoulder doesn't touch the floor. Shoulders away from the ears. The left hand is going to be on the floor flat, elbow lifted toward the ceiling, and we come into that twist. As you inhale, you come right back up, open, and then thread the arm under and stretch. We'll do that 3 times. On the last time, we're going to hold. And as we hold, we maybe press our hand into the floor, roll more toward the back of the head. And maybe take that hand and reach behind us. either resting your hand at the back or reaching around for your thigh. So the thing to be careful of here is to not let your neck collapse towards the floor. So we don't want the neck come down. Really press the side of your head into the floor to protect your neck. All right, so when you're ready, right arm reaches up, nice big stretch, stacking shoulders open. Exhale, reach under. Let that left elbow lift toward the ceiling. And then your right hand is on the floor. The back of your right hand is on the floor. Beautiful. Inhale, press your left hand open, reach back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, reach under. And again, inhale, exhale, under. Your left elbow lifted. And we'll stay here. Yeah, there we go. From here, you could begin to press your left hand into the floor, rolling toward the back side of your head. Try to make the shoulders come away from the ears. And then maybe lifting the left hand up behind you, reaching for the back of your waist, or maybe reaching around to find your right thigh. And that's not a command. Remember, nothing I say is a command. They're all suggestions. Take a breath or two. Notice how it feels to breathe here. The breath is more constricted in twist, right? When you're ready to come out of it, bring your hand back to the floor, press into the floor, lift up, and then stay in tabletop and take a few breaths. And then let's exhale to child's pose. Stay there. And as you're in child's pose, scan your body from side to side and notice how you feel different. Does one side feel different than the other? What feels different? And then we always want to remember what we did to get here. So we have the second side. When you're ready, rise up to tabletop. This time the left arm is going to lift up. So we inhale, stretch that left arm up. Exhale, reach under at the side of your head, come to the floor. Both shoulders away from the ears. Right elbow lifted toward the ceiling. Inhale, press your right hand firmly into the floor. Open, stretch. Exhale, reach under. We do 3. On the third time, we'll stay. Use your breath as your guide. Inhale. As you're staying, take your time. There's no rush to move to the next place. Take our time. Notice how it feels. And in your time, maybe press your hand into the floor. Roll into the back side of your head. Maybe lifting that hand up off the floor again, not a command. And reaching behind you. Coming out of it when you're ready. And then once again, finding tabletop, then child's pose. And again, scan your body and notice how you feel. What do you feel? Ready? Let's go ahead and take the hands under the shoulders and roll your way up so you're sitting on your heels. And then find your way onto your seat. And stretch the legs out straight in front of us. And then it's important to get up on the sit bones. So a couple things you can do. We can take our thighs in our hands and rotate the thigh flesh So you press the inner thigh down, lift the outer thigh up, and kind of move the hip flesh out of the way. You might even reach behind you and lift that up. If you discover as you sit here that your back is rounding like this, then we want to sit up on something, so a blanket to give you a little more height. And I'll look around and see if anyone needs a blanket. And lift your toes toward the ceiling. Even the baby toe is lifted. And we flex our feet, so we're pulling the toes back towards the knees. Sorry, straight, nice, straight back, shoulders back, crown of the head lifting. And then inhale, the arms up. As you exhale, I want you just to go to your halfway point. So we're going to move forward. The chest and belly move toward the thighs. Just your halfway point. That's different than mine. When you're ready to inhale, come right back up. Press your legs into the floor, lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Again. One more. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, fold, and this time let your hands come down to the floor or your knees or your ankles. Pull your shoulders back so you're not rounding your back. And the belly and chest are moving toward the thighs. If your back is rounding, then come up a little so that you have a long, straight back. So some of you may be sitting straight up, and that's okay. This is a great stretch for you. There's no end point here. And we breathe. Each exhale takes you a little closer to your legs. Lord, lift the back of your neck so your head is neutral. There you go. Neck is neutral. Two more breaths. Notice where your mind went. And then when you're ready, place your hands on the floor next to your thighs. Shoulders pulling down and back. Inhale, come up. And then let's take our feet in towards our groins. So we bend the knees, bring the feet together in front of you. Soles of the feet come together. And then link the fingers, and we're going to wrap them around the toes. Good. And then from here, press the soles of your feet together. When you do that, you may notice that your knees begin to soften down towards the floor. And then also, heels and groin draw toward each other. Nice tall spine, crown of the head lifts, shoulders down. Find your breath here. And if you'd like to, as you exhale, begin to move the chest and belly toward your feet. So we're not rounding the back, trying to move with a straight back, long back. Shoulders down and back, and we move forward. You might not get very far, that's okay. We don't compete with each other. We don't even compete with ourselves in yoga. We meet our body where it's at today. Each day is different, each minute is different. On your next inhale, rise back up. And then take your hands to the outside of your knees. Lift your knees toward each other. Stretch your legs out. And then let's go ahead and bend the knees, and we're going to roll down onto our back. So as you roll down, keep your knees bent. That keeps your low back safe. Take our time as we roll all the way down. With the knees still bending, feet on the floor, Arms next to your sides. Notice how you feel here. Feel the support of the floor holding you. Just notice in general how good the floor feels. I'm always surprised at the hard floor and how good it feels to be on it. From here, draw your knees into your chest, hold your hands on your knees, pull the knees down, and then rock a little side to side. Massage the muscles that support your spine. And come back to center. Let your feet come to the floor. And then when you're ready, let's take the right foot off the floor. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And activate your toes. We want to make sure the toes are pulling back towards the knee. Lift your left foot off the floor. This might be enough for you. If you can or you'd like to, you'll take your hands now and link them behind the left thigh. Begin to pull your left knee in towards the left shoulder, and maybe use the opposite elbow to press the right thigh away from you. Both feet are active. We have yogi toes. And then try to extend your tailbone towards the top of your mat, even pressing the sacrum into the floor gently. And that will deepen this deep stretch in that outer right hip. Now notice if you're trying to escape, sometimes our body tries to escape and we tip over towards the right. See if you can move to the left just a little bit. That makes a difference. Is anybody not feeling something? Does anybody want my help? Keep breathing. Notice how you feel as you breathe. Belly rising on your inhale, falling on your exhale. Notice where your mind is going. You might be saying, when is this teacher going to let me out of this pose? Yeah, this is one of those pretzel poses I didn't really think I wanted to do. Instead, focus on breathing. Breathing in. I know I breathe in because that's where I choose to focus. Breathing out. I know I breathe out. Next time you find an exhale, release your feet to the floor. Keep your knees bent, arms to your sides, feet are on the floor. Take a moment, bless you, scan your body. Notice what you feel. And then notice from side to side how your hips feel different. And remember what you did to get here. So we have a second side. When you're ready, left ankle crossing over right thigh. Lift the right foot off the floor and link your fingers behind the right thigh. Begin to draw your right knee now in towards your right shoulder. Right there. And maybe use the left elbow to gently guide the left thigh away from you. And notice your low back, the lowest part of your back. Try to make sure that stays on the floor. So a lot of times we pull our knees in and we say, hey, no big deal. I don't feel anything. But if you'll take your lowest part of your back onto the floor and press into the floor there, you will notice your knees kind of move away from you. Right? And then there's the play, there's the work. Keep drawing the knee in, keeping the tailbone extended. And breathe. Keep your mind here. On your next exhale, release both feet to the floor. Again, take time to notice your body and how you feel. Appreciate your effort. Appreciate your work. And notice how your body's changing. Each pose changes your body. More strength, more flexibility, more space. And then again, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a tight squeeze, and maybe rock a little side to side. And come back to center. Take your feet to the floor. Make sure that the ankles are right under the knees. Your feet are hip distance, so that's about 4 inches. Toes face forward, even the baby toe. Arms next to your sides, palms face down. When you're ready, inhale, lift your hips off the floor, and just your right arm, just the right arm goes up and over your head. As you exhale, lower your hips down to the floor. Keep your arm overhead. Inhale, lift your hips, and your left arm goes overhead. As you exhale, lower your hips and your right arm. Inhale, just the hips. Exhale, left arm comes down with the hips. And we do that again. Breathe in, lift your hips and your right arm. Exhale, lower just your hips. Inhale, hips and the left arm. Exhale, lower your hips and your right arm comes down. Inhale, hips only. Exhale, lower your left arm with your hips. And again, breathe in, pressing your feet, lifting your hips and your right arm. Exhale, lower your hips down. Tailbone is extending toward the back of your calf muscles or your hips or your heels. Inhale, lift the hips. This time, left arm comes with you. Exhale, lower the hips and the right arm. Inhale, hips. Exhale, let your hips come down with the left arm and pause. Scan your body, notice what you feel. From here, walk your feet out to the outside edges of your mat. So just the big toe and the inner heel are on the mat. Toes face forward. Then take your knees as wide as your ankles. Open your arms to the side in a T so the palms face the ceiling. Exhale, drop your knees to the right. Inhale, lift your legs up, your knees up, and then over to the left. Windshield wipers. Go back and forth a few times. Moving into your hips a little bit of twisting. Let the last time be towards the left. Lift the knees back up. And then pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good squeeze again. And rock side to side. From here, come back onto your spine. Take your hands to the top of your knees. And we're going to push the knees into great big circles. So push your knees away from you. Open the knees wide. Draw them to the outer ribs and back to the center of your chest. And do that whole circle again. Do that 2 or 3 or 4 times. And then reverse the circle. So now we pull the knees into the chest, down towards the outer ribs, toward the floor, wide, and then out and back to center. And back up to middle, hands still on your knees. Little tiny circles now. Move the knees together. 2 or 3 or 4 times, massaging the muscles, supporting your sacrum and your tailbone. And then reverse your circles. And then finally back to center. As you exhale, your belly drops. You have room now to squeeze the knees into your chest. On your inhale, your belly rises, so let your legs move away from you as your arms straighten. And then exhale again, squeeze the knees in. Do that 2 or 3 times. We're releasing our low back, our hips, our knees, and we're ending our practice on a forward folding movement, and that allows your mind to rest so that your last pose will be comfortable and calm and peaceful. When you feel ready, we're going to go ahead and rest in our last pose, Shavasana. So we stretch the feet out, legs out straight. Let your feet rest a little wider than hip distance and let the toes naturally roll to the sides. Arms away from your body, palms face the ceiling. So if you have socks or a jacket and you want to put that on to keep you warm, this is a good time to do that. If you have a blanket, you'd like to drape it over you. It's nice to have a blanket draped over the hips. Or even undo the blanket and put it over your thighs. So our arms are away from our body about a foot. That gives you room for your shoulders to open. Rotate the hands so they face the ceiling. So palms of the hands face up. Relax the fingers, relax your hands. Toes naturally relax out towards the sides. And then notice the floor, the earth, and how good it feels. Notice how the earth comes up to meet you, holding you and supporting you. As you relax your body into it. We know we are safe and secure as we rest our body. This last pose is the most important pose you do. This is where we let our body rest and assimilate all the poses that came before this one. So we get the benefits of all the twisting, folding, backward bending. Shavasana is also called corpse pose. It's where we practice laying like the dead, and it's really symbolic of letting go and surrendering. Up until this point, you've been doing a lot. You've been working hard. So now we stop the doing and we just be. Just be in our bodies. Try to resist any temptation to move or wiggle or adjust. Just rest. Feel the weight of your body getting heavier as your muscles soften and relax. Heels heavy, hips soft. Relax your shoulders. Allow the collarbones to widen. Soften your throat. Relax your jaw. Soften all the facial muscles. Let your cheeks get heavier. Cheekbones soft. Release the outer edges of your eyes, allowing your eyeballs to sink into their sockets, deeper and deeper and deeper. Notice the space between your eyebrows and let that space get wider as you soften your forehead. Whole body soft. Begin to allow your attention now to move toward your breath and observe your body resting and breathing. Try to keep your attention focused on breathing. Notice that when you breathe in, your belly rises. Your ribs widen in all directions. Chest rises. As you exhale, your belly softens down back towards your spine. Breathing in, I know I breathe in, because that's where I choose to focus. Breathing out, I know I breathe out. There's no effort here. Let this be easy. Just rest. your knees and draw them into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Nice tight squeeze and rock a little side to side again, only if that feels good. Massaging your back, waking everything up. When you're ready, roll to a side. The right side is preferable, but if your right shoulder is challenged, you can always roll to the left. Once you're on your side, let your resting arm go over your head so you can rest your head on your arm. Tuck your knees up close to your chest. Feet rest on the floor. Take a moment here and scan your body. Remember how you felt when we began class. Just an hour ago, remember what you felt. Body and breath, state of your mind. Now scan your body, notice your breath, and feel the changes. Notice what feels different, and remember what you did to get here. Yoga is magic. More space everywhere. When you feel ready, please come up from your side. Try not to roll back onto your back, so you'll come up from your side. Take a seat. Sit cross-legged. And please join your hands together in front of you. So nice tall posture, crown of your head lifting toward the ceiling. Relax your shoulders. Hips heavy. And we'll take a cleansing breath. So when you're ready, breathe in deep. Breathe out big. Good. Let go of any tension or stress you might still be holding. Thank you for being here today and allowing me to guide you through your practice. Always remember that your presence matters to everyone around you. So always show up, keep showing up, and be present. Your presence matters, you matter. I honor the light that is in each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.